no such competition. He set the Japanese record for fastest pitch thrown in high school, set the record for fastest pitch thrown in Japanese history, and hit a home run that literally went through the roof of the Tokyo Dome. Before, he had 3 different skills, meaning that he has Hall of Fame level talent in power, in speed, and for his splitter.
3 categories.
It goes without saying that this has never happened in the history of baseball, where it's then he completely fell apart.
This scout said he probably should be at A-ball right now.
Tommy John surgery, check. Knee surgery, check. Now an arm strain, check. He's screwed.
Konnichiwa, minasan. Kyo desu. So in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the greatest athlete in the world is Japanese. Looking forward to this video, guys, but before that, we are close to 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel.
As a rookie in Japan, Shohei Ohtani was described as a, quote, selfish player
Ohtani.
whose team was ruining his career. In 2021, he had what Sporting News called the greatest individual season in sports history.
Wow.
And in 2022, he's having an even better season. He can throw a 102-mile-per-hour fastball, hit a ball 119 miles per hour, and reached a sprint speed of 19.8 miles per hour.
Wow.
That's faster than Michael Vick. When coming to America, he voluntarily lost close to $200 million just to play Major League Baseball. In Japan, he gave his entire salary to his mother so she could manage it. She gave him an allowance of $1,000 a month. After 2 years, he saved $20,000, meaning he spent $4,000 in 2 years. His salary was $2.4 million a year. Ohtani doesn't do anything except baseball and has a borderline psychotic obsession with becoming the best athlete in the world. And right now, not a single athlete in any sport even comes close. Just compare him to LeBron James, who despite being one of the greatest and most versatile players in a sport that is way less specialized than baseball, has never finished a season top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists. This season, Ohtani is top 5 in the AL in 3 major
someone who's obsessed with baseball.
And also 3 major pitching categories. No other athlete in the world can compete because he is a starting pitcher and a designated hitter, making him one of only 2 MLB players in the past 100 years to do that. Since the 90s, there have been 6 MLB players who also played in the NFL. Meaning, if Ohtani was the league's best hitter, then played in the NFL during the offseason, that would actually be less impressive. Out of all the players who've done this, Bo Jackson was the best, making an all-star team in baseball and leading the NFL in 3 offensive categories in the same year. But unlike Ohtani, he could only keep up this insane production for 1 year. And according to WAR, Ohtani's 2021 season was more valuable than all 8 of Bo Jackson's MLB seasons combined. However, unlike Ohtani, neither won league MVP and played over 50 years ago. In modern sports, this doesn't happen because it requires an insane workload and obsession to training that only Ohtani has, and these stories prove his obsession to baseball is borderline psychotic. As a rookie in Japan, Ohtani would pitch for the team's minor leagues.
A lot of people who are great are very obsessive.
That same day would be in the lineup and play right field for the major league team at night. By the time he left Japan at 23 years old, he didn't even have a driver's license because according to him, it took too much time to get it and he only wanted to go to the field and back anyway. In fact, in his first professional season, his team wouldn't even allow him to go out to dinner with his teammates. He was only allowed to go from the stadium to the hotel or to the team's dormitories where he lived during the season. And even after becoming the best and most famous athlete in Japan, he voluntarily stayed in the team's dormitories, which are usually reserved for young players, where players need to request and receive permission anytime they want to leave. According to him, he literally trains while he sleeps, saying he, quote, gets ideas while he's sleeping, then tries them in the game the next day. Ohtani has the obsession and competitiveness of Kobe and Jordan, but his on-the-field antics are kind of the opposite. Ohtani is constantly apologizing and waving at people. He threw a ball close to Mark Canha's head. He got pissed and screamed at Ohtani. Ohtani just laughed and apologized. During a brawl with the Mariners, him and his interpreter got in the pile and pulled a player out in the friendliest way possible. He's constantly seen picking up trash off the field because in high school, he was taught
that Japanese etiquette.
Ohtani's personality really doesn't seem like an ultra-competitive athlete, but he is definitely built like one. In fact, his raw physical ability made some people call him the best player in the world before he even stepped foot in America, making him arguably a bigger prospect than LeBron James, who is known as being the best prospect in basketball history. Ohtani had no such competition. He set the Japanese record for fastest pitch thrown in high school, set the record for fastest pitch thrown in Japanese history, and hit a home run that literally went through the roof of the Tokyo Dome before he ever even stepped foot in America. MLB prospects are graded on a scale from 20 to 80. Getting an 80 means that you are a Hall of Fame level talent in that skill. It is only given to the top 0.2% of major leaguers. Ohtani got an 80 in 3 different skills, meaning that he has Hall of Fame level talent in power, in speed, and for his splitter.
3 categories.
It goes without saying that this has never happened in the history of baseball, where it's universally accepted that being a hitter and a pitcher at the same time is impossible. And if it wasn't for this extremely rare and lucky circumstance that likely will never happen again, Ohtani would have never even been allowed to attempt to do both. After high school, Ohtani publicly announced he would sign to a major league team, asking Japanese teams not to draft him. The Nippon Ham Fighters completely ignored this and drafted him anyway. To convince Ohtani to sign with them instead of going to America, making their pick worthless, they had to offer him something that no other team was willing to: the ability to void his contract and allow him to go to America whenever he wanted, and let him become a two-way player, which literally no other team on earth was even considering. Ohtani became the first two-way player in Japan in over 60 years, when several players did it for a few years before they decided that doing both was too hard. Babe Ruth was an American icon for doing this for a year and a half before he also decided it was too hard. So obviously, nobody thought Ohtani could do it. He was called childish for taking a bats away from, quote, real players. Scouts in Japan thought that the fighters were literally ruining his career by allowing him to do both, and the fighters themselves likely wouldn't have even allowed him to do both if they didn't think it was the only way they could prevent him from signing in America. But within 3 years, he became the second best hitter in the league while simultaneously being the best pitcher in the league. He won league MVP and every other award in Japan, becoming the most famous athlete in the country. In 2017, Ohtani submitted his request to go to MLB, which literally cost him hundreds of millions of dollars. Ohtani requested his release so he could go to MLB in 2017. If Ohtani waited 2 more years, he would have been a free agent and would have signed a major league contract for around $200 million. But since he was still under contract in Japan, he was only legally allowed to sign for $3.5 million. Ohtani did not care. He signed to the Angels, making less money than he made for the Fighters and $190 million less than if he would have just waited 2 more seasons. Being the first two-way player in MLB was the only thing Ohtani cared about, which just based off the daily work schedule for a major leaguer literally seems impossible. MLB pitchers typically arrive 6 hours before the game starts to do pitching workouts. Position players also arrive 6 hours before the game starts to do position player workouts. Shohei Ohtani does both. In theory, that's 12 hours of work a day, plus 3 hours of games he plays every single night. That's 15 hours of baseball every day and doesn't even include the insane travel schedule professional baseball players go through. And this insane work schedule almost ended his career as a two-way player. Ohtani's first week in MLB was electric. He hit 3 home runs in his first 4 games. He took a perfect game into the 7th, and over his first 2 starts, held opposing batters to a .093 batting average. At one point, he was even the betting favorite to win MVP as a rookie. Then, he completely fell apart.
This scout said he probably should be at A-ball right now.
His next 3 starts were terrible, and then came injury.
Ohtani parted tonight's game due to a blister.
After injury.
Shohei Ohtani will undergo Tommy John surgery.
When Ohtani found out he was getting Tommy John, he was so depressed he didn't step outside his house once for an entire week. Ohtani was still allowed to hit, putting up numbers strong enough to win Rookie of the Year, but this was used by many as proof he shouldn't focus on pitching at all.
It's time for the Angels to step in and make a decision for him. It's too hard to be the best hitter and pitcher at the highest level.
It is difficult.
He played 2019 solely as a hitter to recover his elbow. He hit well, but experienced even more injuries.
You almost have to pick one or the other because both are so demanding.
Rehabbing from an elbow and knee injury while trying to train at two positions, plus a pandemic, made Ohtani's 2020 the worst season of his career. Then, another injury.
Tommy John surgery, check. Knee surgery, check. Now an arm strain, check. He's screwed.
Ohtani was getting 6 days rest between starts, resting the day before and after pitching, and was not put in the lineup in games when he pitched. But despite all of these safety measures, his body was breaking down, and in 2021, he knew it was his last chance to prove a two-way player was possible. The Angels went with the complete opposite approach. He would get essentially no rest, play every day, and hit and pitch during the same game, giving him a workload never seen in baseball history. And this caused the best season ever seen. He became the first player ever to be
the
selected
comeback
to the
is
All-Star
real.
team twice in the same season. Once as a pitcher and once as a hitter. He was selected to compete in the Home Run Derby, had his interpreter catch for it, and donated the $150,000 he won to the Angels clubhouse workers. An All-Star Game jersey signed by Ohtani sold for over $130,000, and it wasn't even game worn. He won the Silver Slugger Award, the Best DH Award, AP Male Athlete of the Year, ESPY's Male Athlete of the Year, was listed as one of the top 100 most influential people in the world by Time Magazine, and was unanimous MVP. He was even chosen by the Japanese government to get the People's Honor Award of Japan. However, Ohtani turned it down, saying, quote, "It's too early for me to get the award." Ohtani's 2021 was ranked as the single greatest season by any athlete in sports history. In 2022, he's already accumulated more WAR than he had in 2021. In an 8-game stretch in June, Ohtani made 2 starts, didn't give up a single run, and struck out an insane 49% of the batters he faced. During this stretch, he also hit 4 home runs and had 12 RBIs. He accumulated 1.8 WAR. That's more WAR than the entire Detroit Tigers offense has all season. Ohtani did it in 8 days. Since 2021, Ohtani has offensive numbers on par with Willie Mays' career numbers, while putting up pitching stats on par with Pedro Martinez's career numbers. He is literally 2 Hall of Fame players in one, making him the greatest athlete on earth.
I'm honestly blown away. I'm at a loss for words. Something like this can only happen if you have an obsession over the field you're in. I think this video made it clear he is one of the greatest athletes, if not the greatest athlete of all time. And you see, when you're a person who's driven, you know, people are always gonna try to derail you and say, hey, you should do this or this way is better. But when you're focused on your dreams and achieving a goal, like, nothing can stop you. Like, this man has tunnel vision. And to be honest, a lot of the people who do make impact in the world are a bit crazy. The reason why they're so impactful is because they do things that most other people don't want to do, which then sets them apart from other people. And what I also love is that he's giving Japan a very good look. He's a fine representation of like greatness that can come out of Japan. And I know Japan is happy for him because he's literally putting Japan on the map for the world to see in the world of baseball. And honestly, my hope is that more legendary people in whatever field from Japan can come out and represent Japan like Ohtani is doing. Honestly, he's inspiring me. The whole time in the video, like, I just felt motivated to go out there and just conquer life. And I feel even motivated right now, man. And again, congrats to Ohtani. He's a beast. That's clearly a man who works hard. And, you know, despite having shortcomings, he came back and still conquered. That is worthy of approval. That is worthy of praise. Shohei Ohtani for the win. I'm proud of him. I know Japan is proud of him. And honestly, I think he is the greatest athlete of all time. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Hontou, arigatou gozaimasu. Minna, 気をつけて、頑張って。